Yo, what is up, guys? It's Cone back here again today with another video. It's the NBA offseason. We're 3 days away from the NBA draft, and what that means is lots of rumors and trades going down. That's exactly what we've got here in today's video. Two things that I want to talk about, specifically the rumors that the Pistons aren't necessarily sold on Cade Cunningham and are considering and receiving offers from teams to maybe move down in the draft, or maybe they'll even just pick someone different at that first overall pick, and a huge trade going down between the Pelicans and the Memphis Grizzlies that not only shakes up both teams, but the draft and free agency as a whole. So we're going to start with the trade, and I'm going to talk about my thoughts on that from the side of both teams, and we'll get into the rumors about the Pistons and including the Thunder. There have been some interesting developments. There's just a lot to talk about, so I'm going to go ahead and hop into it. Make sure you like and subscribe. You don't want to miss out on me covering the draft. I'm going to be doing a live stream during the draft, so if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe so that you can hear my thoughts on every draft pick, especially the Thunder's draft picks, because that's my team. So the trade that has went down, including a Thunder legend, Steven Adams. The Memphis Grizzlies have traded Jonas Valanciunas, the 17th overall pick and the number 51 pick in this year's draft, to the Memphis Grizzlies, or to the New Orleans Pelicans, for Steven Adams, Eric Bledsoe, the number 10 overall pick, the number 40 overall pick, and a 2022 first round pick, protected top 10, I believe, from the Lakers. That's a lot to go through, so we're going to break it down. Starting with the Pelicans side of the ball, I really love this trade for the Pelicans. Not only do they get rid of the contracts of Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe, but they don't lose their draft pick entirely. A lot of people, me included, thought to get rid of those two massive contracts, they might need to just lose the 10th overall pick entirely, or even move back into the 20s. But now they move down 7 spots, which given is a lot of spots in a draft class that's as stacked as this, but there's still going to be some great players available at pick 17. And if they didn't love anyone at pick 10 anyways, why not move down to move off those contracts? And they now get a guy in Jonas Valanciunas that fits this squad so much better. One of the biggest problems for this Pelicans roster was the way it was constructed, which is a huge issue. Zion Williamson is the future of this team. He's a future superstar. He's a stud. And they need to build a roster that fits well around him, and Jonas Valanciunas helps with that. He's not an incredible floor spacer, but he's going to take threes. And not only that, but he'll shoot mid-range jumpers. He'll step out beyond the arc, and teams have to guard him. With Steven Adams, Thunder legend, shout out to him, teams weren't worried about Steven Adams stepping out beyond the three-point line. They were like, okay, whatever, and it allowed them to key in more on Zion, which really didn't even matter because Zion is that good. But now that you have a guy like this, they're going to have one of the most dominant paint attacks in the entire NBA, if not the most dominant, between Jonas Valanciunas, who's a great back-to-the-basket big, in addition to being able to stretch the floor a little bit, and Zion Williamson. Throw that in with Brandon Ingram, who's an all-star caliber player. He's been an all-star in the past. Maybe at the 2, they run Gilgeous-Alexander Walker out there, who's shown a lot of flashes, or maybe at pick 17, they decide to draft someone. Maybe they even make more trades. But one of the biggest possibilities this now opens up is free agents. There's been talks about trying to bring back Lonzo Ball, but they could have already done that, even if they kept Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe, because they would have had Lonzo Ball's rights, right? They could have went past the cap to re-sign him. What I think this means is they're all in on Kyle Lowry. I think that the Pelicans are looking at this team and they're like, we're good. Zion's great. We have 2 all-stars. Let's add a Kyle Lowry. Let's add a great big in Jonas Valanciunas, who most of the time this past season, I know this might be crazy to some people, but Jonas Valanciunas was really often the Grizzlies' best player on any given night. He was phenomenal this past year, and he now adds to a super talented roster where if you add Kyle Lowry in, and you run out a starting lineup of Kyle Lowry, Gilgeous-Alexander Walker, Brandon Ingram, Zion, and Jonas Valanciunas, that team is a threat to really make some noise in the Western Conference. I don't think they're going to win the West or anything, but they will make the playoffs, and they're going to be a super scary team. I wouldn't want to face them round 1. Not to mention, they've got some solid guys off the bench. Jackson Hayes is a backup center. They're going to draft someone, like I've mentioned, at pick 17. This Pelicans team quickly becomes really, really interesting with this move. And if they're able to bring in a guy like Kyle Lowry, this is huge for them. So, I love this trade for the Pelicans, and also getting the number 51 overall pick. They moved back 11 spots from their 40th overall pick that they had previously. All around, great trade for them, trying to make some win-now moves like we've heard that they were trying to do, where they were trying to trade the 10th overall pick for more win-now players. Great move for the Pelicans. I love it. They get an A from me. I don't love it for the Grizzlies. It is a little interesting, and I see why they would do it. And if you look at it through a certain lens, it does make sense. But I don't love it. Steven Adams doesn't really fit this roster. They need spacing. They're not a great shooting team. They've got great shooters here and there, but as a whole, as a team, they're not great shooting the basketball. So Steven Adams doesn't help with that. There's been reports that he's trying to become a stretch big, but also I've heard that in the past with Oklahoma City. So we'll see if he actually decides to do that. If he can be a stretch big, cool. That works out for Memphis fine, but we'll see if he's able to do that. Eric Bledsoe also just doesn't make sense to me that much on this roster. I guess he's a good backup point guard if they want to go with that. But there's reports that with the 10th overall pick, they're looking at Josh Giddey, who is a point guard, a 6'8 point guard from Australia. He's going to be good, and he's a good playmaker. But at this moment, he also can't shoot, which is also weird with their spacing situation. So I don't love it. This feels like a step back for the Grizzlies this season, 100%. 100% they're going to take a step back unless their 10th overall pick makes some leaps or some of their guys make big leaps. Maybe Jaren Jackson Jr. has a breakout season. That's a possibility. But what this does help them out with is the future. They're not going to have to pay Jonas Valanciunas. They're not going to get tied up in that money. Maybe they see themselves as a big threat to sign a free agent down the line. Or maybe they're just thinking, if we lock up Jonas Valanciunas, we lock up Ja, we lock up Triple J, like maybe we can make a push. But we want to make sure we can make that push. They said, we're going to get the 10th overall pick. We're going to go out and get a guy that we like a lot. Maybe it is a Josh Giddey to help with the playmaking side of the ball for the Memphis Grizzlies. And that will help raise our ceiling eventually when we are trying to compete for a championship. Maybe they thought that this core right now, while really good, they want to improve it talent-wise while they're still able to. So if that's their game plan, I see it, I get it. Don't love it for right now because, like I said, Valanciunas a lot of times was their best player some nights in this season, but you know, maybe Giddey really is the guy that they want, and he's going to be a great player for them. Who knows? So right now for the Grizz, I like this trade more for the Pelicans than I do for the Grizzlies, but I do see some benefit. So I don't think it's all bad for the Memphis Grizzlies. I love this for New Orleans, though. You've heard why. Shout out to the Pelicans. Good move. Shout out to the Grizzlies, I guess, for making moves as well, getting involved in some stuff. Not a trade I expected to see at all on this day. It kind of blew my mind that that was the first trade we saw. I thought it was going to be involving like a trade up or something like that within the upper lottery, but you know, that's basketball. So shout to Woj for dropping a bomb. I tweeted out earlier I wanted to see some trades, so here we are. And then the rumors coming out that also from Woj, who's having a great day, killing every reporter in the game today. Woj said that the Pistons are not sold on Cade Cunningham. They are completely like up in the air. They're not sure whether they like Cade, Green, or Mobley best. They're not sure which one of those three guys they want. And what that tells me is they're very open to trading down. And that also comes into the rumor that came out, or not rumor, the report that the Oklahoma City Thunder made a serious offer to the Pistons for the first overall pick. And the Pistons declined. Makes sense. You want to keep the first overall pick. But that indicates to me not only that the Pistons may be willing to trade down, but that the Thunder are going really hard to trade up. I've said this in a previous video. I don't think it's a question of if the Thunder want to trade up. I think they 100% do. It's just a question of if teams want to trade down. And the Pistons are starting to look maybe more likely like they will, but if they want one of those top three guys, I don't think it's a trade down with the Thunder they're looking for. I think they're looking to trade down, unless maybe it's like a 3-team deal where like they go down to like 3, the Cavs go down to 6, the Thunder move up to 1, like something like that. I don't know. That's just a possibility I could see in my head, but it shows you that Sam Presti is trying really hard. And offers are going to continue to get more serious and more lucrative as we get closer to the draft. So don't be surprised if the Thunder make some big trade up, if the Pistons trade down from that first overall pick. I know it's felt like a foregone conclusion that the Pistons are going to go for Cade Cunningham at 1. But, you know, there have been reports that this is going to be one of the craziest seasons ever, or off seasons ever, in terms of draft trades, in terms of free agent moves, in terms of trades in general. Teams are really doing their due diligence. So don't be surprised if the Pistons trade down, if the Thunder trade up. It just shows a lot that Cade Cunningham, while to me seems like the number 1 overall guy, they don't see him that way. And I don't know, for me, it's just always felt like a foregone conclusion that they would take him at 1. I mean, if they want to give the pick to the Thunder, you know, why not? We'll take some of that pressure off of them. We'll make the pick for you. Why not? So those are my thoughts on the rumors that we've seen today. I'm going to check my phone real quick because so much is going on that I want to make sure I haven't missed anything. But I'm pretty sure that's everything. Also, James Buchanite talked really highly of the Thunder in his press conference, and he confirmed the rumor that I said. in a previous video that he was at dinner with Sam Presti and Mark Daignault. So my first report, I guess, from a source was correct. So you can call me NBA Insider Cone now. But I think that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Let me know what you think about those Pistons rumors. What do you think about the Pelicans Grizzlies trade? Who won? Who do you like it better for? And what do you think is going to happen in terms of trade ups, trade downs? Let me know all that in the comment section below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Once again, you will probably see me live streaming on draft day, so be on the lookout for that. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys later. Real One Say back.